Shido says, I always feel like his critiques are mild or not harsh enough. See, I have a specific like a view about critiques, Shido, and that's the fact that I don't feel like it's a good idea to make people feel bad about their art or about their progress or anything, because I understand that everyone's going through their own process. So it might not be possible for someone to dedicate 8 or 10 hours to 3D every single day. So I try to evaluate everyone from what I see. But there are like moments where, as it happened a couple of portfolios ago, where it definitely feels like you could push further, right? Because there's a lot of pieces and I don't see the progress on the pieces. So in those specific what's the word? On those specific situations, I do like to be a little bit harsher, just to like make people wake up, right? But yeah, I don't feel that you might find, like, I don't like to motivate people by being harsh or mean. I prefer to just be like honest and explain to them like, hey, if this is what you can do right now, that's fine, but that might not be enough. So either you work or you accept that this is going to be your reality for a couple of months or years while you get the time to improve. I always wanted to ask how I can project a texture from an image to a geometry in Maya. I said I do it in Blender and I want to try the roughly making scenes from images in projects. The texture to the whole scene. You just do something called an image-based projection with the UV maps. So you create a UV map and you just project the image. I think we do cover. I mean, it's UVs at the end of the day. Project texture from an image to a geometry. Yeah, it's UV mapping, man. Have you done UV mapping in Blender? No Phoenix? That's just UV mapping. Fernando, there you go, man. You've been waiting a long time. It's now your turn. Awesome. So the first thing I noticed is that you worked on this game right here, Metalborn. That's pretty cool, man. Some awesome concepts. I've seen this before. Other people have worked on this one, I think, on the asset. So yeah, this asset's cool. Optimization is fine, and textures look nice. This is like a weird... Did you do hand-painted, or was this like more procedurally work on Substance Painter? It kind of looks like procedural work for like a hand-painted style approach, similar to what I did with the orc. But yeah, it looks cool. Looks nice. Just careful with the metal etchware. If you haven't seen the orc video, check that one out. You might like that one because I use a couple of other methods to give more saturation and values to some of the elements. Nice. That's a nice camera. Nice optimization. Yep. Hand painted substance. Nice. Who's this? Ninja Warrior. Yeah, this definitely looks a little bit lumpy on a couple of things, like the bandages and some of the cloth. Some of the assets, like this, like best. Whenever you're trying to do this is the hard part, Fernando. And I know why you did it this way, because it's usually easier. But whenever we're doing this padded things that have a lot of trims and border and things like that, even if it takes more time, it's better to separate them into multiple pieces, because you're going to get a cleaner division between the areas. This is what they do, like in God of War and big projects, right? Like in AAA projects, they don't sculpt everything from a single mesh. They do multiple meshes, combine all of those meshes, and then do the retopology. I have an example of that on the channel when I did the Plague Doctors one. Now, one thing I see here is that you're showing a couple of different things, like this facial rig right here. That's interesting. Rigging is complicated. It's a really tricky rig right there. Very stylized. It's pretty nice. Yeah. I'm guessing this took quite a bit of time, because that's definitely tricky to do. Pepper shaker revolver. This looks way cleaner. Nice surfaces here, man. Nice bevels. For this one, we just need to finish it. We just need to finish it, because it's a very, very fun little gun right there. We just need to finish it. Technical art, 3D rigging, cloth simulation, and BFX. Let's take a look. Oh, this is demo reel. Okay. So you are a rigger then, and technical artist, it seems. Nice. That's Marvelous Designer. So you're doing bakes for some sort of film or something, like a short. Nice, nice. Yeah, this is the amazing thing about Marvelous. Like, I use it mostly to generate like the cloth for my characters and my assets. But as you can see right here, for film, instead of doing the simulation in Maya, you can do the whole simulation and just export this so that it's presented on the final like process. This is really good, man. Oh, I love that cape. Nice, and that's the final result? Cool. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love the final look of the film, like the art direction. Personal, like a taste of mine. I don't love it, but your simulation is very nice, man. I understand what they were going for. They were going for this sort of like a very stylized painterly effect. What's this? Phoenix. That's 3D Studio Max, right? Nice. Some VDV volumes. Oh, the only thing I hate about VFX is how long it takes to simulate. Right? Like caching and all that stuff. Okay, so what's the focus that you want, Fernando? Like, because I can see here that this is some really, really interesting technical stuff that you're doing here. But I want to know what would be your particular focus. Like, do you want to become more of a modeler and an asset creator, or do you want to do more of this like technical stuff? Ravi, if your portfolio is on the stuff, I will take a look at it. But if you didn't submit in time, then it's not gonna be possible today. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, your modeling skills are good. Again, I would recommend trying to do more complex things. And by complex, I don't necessarily mean, because hard surface looks good. It's the organic stuff that you might want to improve a little bit upon, and it's mainly using the thing that I've mentioned, where you're gonna be separating stuff into multiple meshes and then baking them down into a low poly mesh. As for texturing, yeah, I agree. Like, we can add a little bit more variation in texturing. I'm not sure if you've checked the Substance Painter like course that I have, but in that one we cover things so that you don't have like this flat materials, and we can focus on adding a little bit more visual interest to the whole thing. You know, a little bit of grunge, a little bit of noise. You are being careful there with your metal edgeware, so I like that. But yeah, it's here's the thing. I'm gonna give you a good advice here, Fernando. Since you already know the basics of modeling, you don't need to model everything. So if you find someone who's a modeler, like we've seen a bunch of them right here, like for instance Pablo, right? If you message Pablo and it's like, hey Pablo, I saw your like Emmy guy right here and it looks awesome. I was wondering if you wanted to collaborate and I could do the textures for it. That way Pablo can work on some other stuff, you work on the textures, and then both of you share it as part of a joint project. So that's one of the things that you can do. Hey, we got a little raid there. Nairo, what's up, man? Hello. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. We're doing portfolio review. Halfway through, I think.